Hi, I'm Stephanie Rubletz. Welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about skills that you can use to get a few extra bucks right now. Alright, so we all know what the situation is. We all know what's going on all over the world, and people keep using this word unprecedented. And it is unprecedented for so many reasons. And that's why so many folks right now are thinking outside of the box, looking for ways to make a few extra bucks. So we're going to talk about what those ideas are, how to do them safely if you are in isolation or quarantine, and we're going to talk about if you've never done anything like this before, like how do you get the word out? Where do you tell people that you're doing the thing for the money? Now, I typically talk about wardrobe sewing, and this is a sewing channel, but today we're gonna talk about ways that you can use sewing to earn some extra money, but we'll also be going outside of that bubble because chances are you're probably good at more than just one thing, right? Hey, hands up in the comments below if somebody has ever accused you of having too many hobbies. Listen, you don't have too many hobbies. You are a multi-passionate individual and you are phenomenal. Now that that's out of the way, let's go down my list. Okay, first one, I'm just gonna say it and get it out of the way because if I don't, y'all are gonna comment below, why did I not mention masks? Okay, so a lot of people are sewing masks right now, but when it comes to frontline workers, they're being donated. So I don't really know that there's much of a business opportunity there. That aside, I mean, maybe selling to private citizens who want masks for going to the grocery store or whatnot. The only thing I would say with this is please do your research on what fabrics are actually going to help filter out a virus. Okay, so that was like housekeeping. We just kind of needed to get out of the way. Here's some of my other ideas. So even though most of the world is shutting down, there's still some things that are happening. There are still babies being born and there are still pets being adopted. Why did I put those two things together? Well, you know, they kind of go together, right? Okay, let's deal with the pet adoption first. So some pet adoption agencies are finding that it's much harder right now to find people to adopt their pets because they really rely heavily on having bigger gatherings and holding events and stuff like that. Actually, we got our pit bull, she's not with us anymore, but when we got her at an event called Plenty of Pits. Like Plenty of Fish, you know, speed dating for dogs. And it was great, but obviously stuff like that's not happening right now. But then I'm also seeing reports from other animal adoption agencies that people are like, well, I'm at home, I have the time to commit to like training and all that kind of stuff. So if they have other avenues of like privately meeting with people, their adoptions are actually going up. These people who are adopting animals still might not necessarily want to go and spend a bunch of time wandering around pet stores right now. Some people are really heavily isolating. And you can have dog food, cat food, whatever food delivered right to your house. So what you could do is offer like new pet, like welcome home kits that have a pet bed, maybe a couple of pet toys, maybe like their own little wiping rags for cleaning their paws when they come in. And then you can offer them as a welcome home kit. And the great thing about marketing this is you can contact those agencies that are adopting out animals and say, look, I've got these available. I'm selling them for X number of dollars, but if your people want to get them from me, I'm going to give them a discount, 10, 20, however many % off. If the adoption agency can offer them something that's going to make it easier for them to integrate that animal into their lives, then that might help them and it will help you because it will market your services. The other thing that is not stopping is babies are being born. Same thing. People don't want to go out in the world to go shopping for those precious little baby gifts. So especially if you have the ability to do any kind of personalized embroidery, coming up with a little baby blanket. It doesn't even have to be a full-on quilt. It could be a little snuggly blanket, a toque, some little mittens, some little booties, personalize it, and then you can offer to even mail it to the people who have had the baby on behalf of the people that you're making it for. Which means not only do they not have to go to the store, they don't have to mail it, and they're not gonna be like going near the new baby, which nobody should be going near the new babies right now except moms and dads. And very important, support people who are living in the same house and isolating. Okay, I'm gonna go over the next two ideas and then I'm gonna go over how to keep it safe for you if you're isolating because it would be kind of the same concept. So idea number one is being creative with other people's memorabilia. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how many people are cleaning out their basements right now. I see a post almost every day on social media about like, we're stuck in the house, we might as well clean and organize things. Great. You know what people are finding? They're finding their kids' baby clothes, their kids' baby blankets. They're finding the stack of shirts from grandpa that after he passed away, they like kept his shirt. So if you're a quilter, and not even a fancy block, just your like basic, however many inch square, repeated, and then those people have an amazing, actually practical, useful thing made out of all those memento things that were like taking up space in their basement. And this is where I'm gonna veer off of the sewing thing, because the same thing goes if you're a scrapbooker, if you scan in photos for digital scrapbooking, if you just are even into organizing people's photos so that they can deal with them. People are also coming across huge stashes of photos that they've had in their basement. One other thing that you can do is mending and tailoring. That is a service people are having a hard time getting a hold of right now. And especially there are people who are essential services who are still out there working. They are still, you know, wearing on their work clothes. And most people I think right now would rather mend than buy new. Because I'll tell you something, one thing I'm not doing right now, I will go out and get groceries. But I am not about to go to a clothing store and try on clothes that somebody else might have had on an hour ago. So I'm mending everything. I mean, it's a good practice anyway and better for the environment, but now people are going to be looking for that service. So between the quilts, the photos, the mending, how do you do that? How do you bring other people's stuff into your house and maintain isolation? I'm so glad you asked. Okay, here's how I look at these things. Option number one, if we're talking about any soft surface things, any of the clothes, any of the stuff for quilting, whatever, can be dropped off on your doorstep in a garbage bag. You can put your gloves on or be mindful of your hand sanitization, whatever. Take it directly from there into your washing machine. You just have to tell people ahead of time that everything needs to be machine washable. Maybe don't be making a quilt out of somebody's wedding dress right now. Now that doesn't work for the photos, and hey, maybe you already have 30 loads of laundry a day and the last thing you need is another load. I get you, I feel you. Maybe you've got a corner of your garage that nobody uses, you don't have any like little kids that you have to worry about going into there. Then you open the garage door, the people come, they drop off the bag in the corner. So the bag basically sits there in its own quarantine. You go and check what the latest research is on how long the virus can last on certain surfaces. And then when you feel comfortable, you can then take those products. And you just have to be upfront with people and be like, okay, I'm not gonna touch your pictures for a week. I'm not gonna touch your clothes for 3 days. Like, you just have to be okay with it taking that extra time while your stuff's in quarantine, in my garage, not being touched, and then I will get to it. When you're done these projects, you simply take a photo, text it to the person, they email money transfer you whatever your agreed upon rate was, and then you leave it on your doorstep for them to come and pick up. You don't have to be around anybody, you don't gotta touch anybody, and you don't even have to touch their money. It goes right to your account. All right, deviating a little bit more out of the sewing bubble, everybody is into baking right now, and those who aren't, wish they were, okay? There are some people that are still out working like crazy hours, and they're seeing everybody else post their banana bread and their sourdough bread and their cookies and their cinnamon buns, oh God, cinnamon buns, on their Facebook. And so what I've seen happen in my neighborhood is one woman just went on our community page, like community Facebook page, I think like every community on the planet has them now, and she just said, hey, I'm baking, you know, a bunch of sourdough loaves today. And she baked those and they were sold out immediately. And then later that day, she went and baked a whole bunch of mini banana nut loaves and they were gone immediately. So again, electronic transfer of the money, leave them out on your doorstep. You don't have to come into contact with anybody. It's a win-win, I think. The same could be said for pre-made meals, either fresh or frozen. And this is one of those things where if you know somebody, or if you are somebody who works at a hospital or who works for the city, like the municipality that you live in, those types of organizations often have like an employees only virtual bulletin board. So even getting somebody else to like go into their company's bulletin board of employees who are currently working overtime to deal with what's going on in the world right now, and say, hey, this person is offering pre-made meals for, you know, this much a portion. This is the contact information. That would be a fantastic resource to market that type of thing. Or again, your community social media would be another good one for that. Okay, the next one is starting seeds. If you're a gardener and you have a bunch of seeds left over from last year, okay, I know this depends on where you are in the world. Some of you folks are heading into fall. Some of you are like beyond spring and into summer. I know here in Calgary, you can still be planting your tomatoes indoors, any of your cruciferous vegetables, squash, flowers. I mean, you could still be starting those. So grabbing yourself some plastic cups and your seeds and some dirt and just starting plants for people. I don't know what the future of garden centers is going to be like this year. So, and to be honest, I think people are really looking for ways to keep their money local. And that's not just in their country, in their province, it's in their neighborhood. If they can support people in their neighborhood, people will. You just have to provide the service. You need to give people the opportunity that they're looking for to support their neighbors. All right, and the last one, again, I feel obliged to say this because what am I doing here? YouTube, blogging, that whole thing. So if that's something that you've thought of to make money in the past and you thought maybe that's a good idea and you wanted to try it, here's what you need to know. First and foremost, YouTube and blogging are a long game. Okay, you can go and like bake yourself some banana bread, put it up on your community Facebook page and be making money this afternoon. That's not going to happen with YouTube and blogging. Honestly, right now, it's still just a passion project for me. I don't make any money and I've been doing it for over a year. So do I hope to make money with it in the future? Absolutely. That's totally part of my plan. But right now I'm still in this learning phase of like gaining an audience and honing my skills. I mean, I had to learn to record, I had to learn to edit, I had to learn all the things. So if you're looking for a way to make money like immediately, then YouTube and blogging is maybe not going to be the best option for you. However, if you're somebody who's not looking for like, I need money for groceries tomorrow, well, I've got some extra time and I've thought of doing the YouTube thing or the blog thing, this might be the best time for you to start this because you just have so much more time to build up your content, to learn all your skills, to learn how to navigate the whole social media, the YouTubes, the algorithms, the things. There's just lots of things with this. Linsey at Inside the Hem has actually recently posted a video on how she makes money with YouTube and how her subscribers can best support her without spending a dime themselves. So rather than go through all that stuff all over again and just repeat what she said, I'm gonna post her video below, and if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead over to her channel and check that out. All right, well, there you go. Those are my tips and ideas for you. I really hope that they're helpful to you. I hope that you are all staying healthy and safe and sane during this isolation period, and I wish you all the best. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out, and I will see you next week, and we will be back to actually putting thread through fabric. If you are in quarantine or isolation, and what else are we gonna talk about? That all of you are staying safe and staying, I really,